I've already started Vlogmas and I didn't realise. I am terrible at plaiting my hair, but it's the easiest thing to do when it's wet and I cannot be bothered to dry it. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and let's join in everybody who has been here before. I read a lot of books. Today I have got the first of quite a big series that I started when I logged into my Kindle. Me and my dad, we share our Amazon Kindle account, and so anything that he downloads ends up in my library and vice versa. So I saw it and thought, oh, that sounds interesting, let's start reading that. And then as I started the book and realised how interested I was in it, it was like, oh, that's good, there's a few books here, how many are there? First I thought there were 6, then I realised, no wait, is that 12? And then I looked a bit further, there's 24 books. And that's just in this section of the series. There's a whole series before this that I haven't read, and from the looks of things there might be a whole other series afterwards. So yeah, let's log into my Kindle and tell you about this book series. I'm reading The Unlikely Dragon Rider, and it is by, I can't see who it's by. Who is it by? Michael Ando and Sarah Nofke. Nofk. As I said, I didn't buy this one, my dad did. After the first book, I am completely hooked. And I don't really read fantasy much anymore. And I say anymore because obviously I've read like the Harry Potter books. I do have Lord of the Rings on my bookshelf that I haven't read. I have been wanting to read the Narnia books for a very, very long time, and I only read one of them when I was at school. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I feel it in my nose. But yeah, so I will read you the blurb. It's quite a big blurb, so let's get into it. The first dragon rider in over 100 years has been born, and it's a girl. Never before has a female been chosen to ride a dragon. The elite, a guild comprised exclusively of dragon riders, is dead according to most. No one has seen a rider in decades. The problems they used to fight overwhelmed the world. Dragons are thought to be near extinction. However, the elite aren't dead. It's just that a bunch of crusty old men who do nothing that benefits the world at large are easy to mistake as useless corpses. Sophia Beaufont is about to change all of that. When the dragon egg that magnetised to her hatches, it sets Sophia on a new course. The elite are immediately notified. She's expected to train, to defend, to fight. Sophia is ready to conquer evil, as the dragon riders should have been doing for centuries. However, the elite has been turning a blind eye, allowing the world to be overrun by criminals. That's all about to change. S. Beaufont isn't a girl who will be told to sit down and relax when a war is brewing that only a dragon rider can extinguish. As I said, the first book had me hooked, but I had no idea what I was getting into when I read that first chapter. You are literally thrown straight into this world. As I said, there was a series before this that actually concentrates on Sophia's sister. So I guess if you have read the books before, maybe there is a bit more of an introduction to the world. But this book literally starts off with being thrown straight into the world of dragon riders, as if it's been happening all along. So in the first chapter, you meet a dragon rider who is on his dragon, and he is being chased from what sounds like an airplane, but he has no idea what it is. It's set in the modern day, but the men of the dragon elite know nothing of modern technology. When they became a dragon rider, it basically immortalises them. So these are people who have been living for hundreds, thousands of years. And Hiker, the main leader of the group, the one who oversees everybody and sorts out all the training and stuff, he is aware of technology, but he is kind of oblivious to it at the same time. He doesn't want to know. He knows about it, but he doesn't want to know about it. He keeps pushing it to the back of his mind. He's not fully embracing it. And in the second book, it looks like it's leaning towards him possibly embracing it at some point, as of where I am about halfway book 2, Sophia is trying to introduce him to the technology, but he is very stubborn about it. So in the first chapter you meet a male dragon rider who is being chased by what appears to be a plane, which you later find out has magical tech on board, and he and his dragon are killed. On the same day that he dies, Sophia is born, and pretty much straight away she is magnetised to a dragon egg. Apparently this is completely unheard of in the Dragon Elite. It's usually men who are called when they are older and magnetised to dragons that are already here. Sophia is a first in many ways. She's the first girl, she's the first woman, and the fact that she was bonded to her dragon while it was still an egg is unheard of as well. And it seems like she is kind of the start of a new era in regards to dragon riders. There's so many little like hints throughout the book that she is part of a change within the Dragon Elite. It's like the first time she rides like somebody who has been doing it her whole life. When she has to go off in the second book to find a library, she does it in record time. So she is a first, and the fact that she was bonded to her dragon while it was still an egg implies that this is more than just something that's been born to her. It is her. Being a dragon rider is her. She was literally born to be a dragon rider, whereas the men in the Elite, it happened to them when they were much older. I say much older, some of them were like bonded to their dragons when they were like in their 20s and stuff, and that was when they found out they were dragon riders. But for Sophia, it's evident from the day that she was born she was supposed to be a dragon rider. And she comes from quite a magical family, and so she uses magic within the dragon riding to kind of complement what she's doing. It's just so interesting. The fact that it's got that really feminist thing going with like this young woman who, when she's 18, because it's also the fact that there's a bit of a time jump from when she's a kid to when she's 18, and not like in a book time jump, as in literally like one day she's 6 years old and then the next she's 18. It's not completely out of the blue to her siblings, because they're just like, yeah, we have known for a very, very long time that you're meant to be a dragon rider. And the thing is, when a dragon rider is ready to be dragon riders, there is a kind of a globe, a magical globe in Hiker's office, which lights up and lets him know where all the dragon riders are in the world. And obviously when Sophia was born, a new light came up to tell him that S. Beaufont is a new rider. And I must admit though, Sophia's sister kind of tries to keep it on the down low until Sophia is ready, but she is recorded as S. Beaufont within the Dragon Rider Elite, so nobody knows that it's a woman until she turns up at this massive castle in Scotland to start her training. So the minute that Sophia turns up at the castle ready to start training, and all the guys are just like, but you're a girl. And she was just like, yeah, and what of it? It's a big part of the storyline of her kind of embracing the fact that she's the first woman and not trying to kind of blend in with other people. She's just like, because there's people around to say, no, you need to embrace the fact that you're the first female dragon rider and don't compromise yourself for it. You don't have to try and fit in when at this point you were born to stand out. That's a quote from something, but I can't remember what it's from. I am just so interested in this series and where it's going to go. In the first book, it is literally getting her prepared for her training, seeing her bond with her dragon, and trying to find out exactly what happened to the rider that died at the beginning of the book. And that's your first introduction to the magical tech that has kind of overpowered the world while mortals have forgotten about magic. Because there was a point when the Dragon Elite oversaw all the disputes. The Dragon Elite are like the final judgments, so they're there to like handle like wars and things. They're like the overseers of everything. They're all supposed to be the almighty, all-powerful, but then mortals forgot about magic and they weren't needed anymore. And now, when Sophia comes into the picture as the newest, youngest dragon rider, mortals can see magic again. But Hiker, as like big boss of the Elite, he's scared, partly of the magical tech that he's aware that's happening, the fact that he kind of knows what killed Adam, the dragon rider from the beginning of the book, but he's very like, I don't want to talk about it, Sophia gets on Hiker's side with the fact that she does go and investigate what happened to Adam, but she realises that because of the magical tech and the fact that Hiker is so scared of it, there is no reason to share what happened to Adam with the other riders when she is trying to get Hiker on side. So yeah, it is such a refreshing story about a young woman trying to find her place in a world of men. And I say refreshing, it's a tale as old as time, but putting it in this world of fantasy, it's really, really cool. It's really cool. And, you know, this is one, because a lot of the time when you read fantasy books, it tends to be geared more towards the boys. I think that's one of the things that a lot of us love so much about Harry Potter. There was somebody for everybody, because a lot of girls saw themselves in Hermione, and as somebody who was like a book lover anyway, and you know, I've always been one to kind of read books really quickly. I've always been on that. I've always joked, I don't know how it happened, when my parents and my sister were dyslexic. Yes, this is book 1 of 24 of the Exceptional Sophia Beaufont series. That's the front cover of the book. This is my first time actually seeing the front cover properly, because on Kindle it only shows it to you for a second and then it takes you straight into the book. But yeah, it's basically kind of the story of like a big supernatural family with the Beaufonts, and Sophia is kind of considered royalty because of who she's related to, and it allows her to get into places that the other dragon riders can't. So as she gets her confidence, you see her trusting herself more and realising that even though Hiker has his way of doing stuff, she doesn't have to do everything the way that Hiker does it, because she's not him. She is Sophia, or as some of the other people refer to her as just S, because that was how they were first introduced to her. And I find it funny how they're just like, oh, so S Beaufont, and the fact is, you know, she isn't that picky about how people call her. She's just like, yeah, I know my name is Sophia. You don't have to call me Sophia. But, you know, at this point, you know I'm a woman. You know I'm a girl. But yeah, so I think a big theme of the book is going to be following kind of the storyline of the magical tech, what happened to Adam, why it appeared he was hunted down, and just seeing that relationship with the other riders and her family, and seeing Sophia come into her own as the first female and youngest dragon rider. But yeah, so if you like a good fantasy series, go for it. It is a bit cheesy at times, but it adds to that comedy, so it doesn't take itself too seriously. After this series, I'm really interested in going back and reading the series before this, which is about Sophia's sister. At the moment, I am mainly seeing the relationship between Sophia and her sister, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. It is so cute, and yeah, it's just so funny, but then it also has those nice serious moments as you look at kind of the main themes of the books in regards to Sophia coming into her own. So it's a bit of a coming of age story as well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Thank you to the new people. I do see the numbers going up, and I'm extremely grateful that people are willing to let YouTube know that they watch my videos, because I think there's so many people who I watch who I'm not actually subscribed to, which I probably should be. So thank you. I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye.